Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I don't know if you're a numbers person, but I loved that today was 111 at 11 a.m. That felt auspicious to me. Anywhere we can find an auspicious moment, I think we should take it. So just settle into your seat for a moment before we begin, while we wait for people to arrive. Notice what comes up even before the meditation begins, before the practice begins. How can you arrive and be present before we begin? So if you're just arriving, settle into your seat while we wait for people to pop in from the waiting room here. So nice to see many of the same faces that we saw last week at our one-day virtual retreat. Welcome to Meditation Town Hall. My name is Kelley Amadei, and I will be leading us in our practice today. It's my honor and privilege. Thank you for your presence. Taking a breath in, bowing to the Buddha in your seat. Remember who you really are. We'll start with a little warm-up today with some chanting and praying. Feel free to join along or just listen. We'll start with 2 prayers in English. The 4 immeasurable aspirations. And these 2 prayers are really it. You know, all of it's it, but this is really it. May all beings possess happiness in the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. Really take this in as we set our intention for today's practice. Read the 4 dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness. Do a little more chanting in a bit. So welcome if you're here for the first time. So wonderful to see you. If you've been coming for years, always a pleasure to sit with you again. Last week, we had the pleasure and privilege of having Lama Surya Das and Lama Roger Walsh lead us in a one-day retreat, our first one in quite a while. And the topic was the art and practice of cultivating presence. And I always find it inspiring how just a few words can inspire deep thought and reflection. And coming out of that retreat, I was thinking about what would be useful for today, what would be useful to bring to the Sangha today. And one of the things that kept coming to me was present to what? Being the new year, it's January 11th, we have an opportunity in every moment and in every day, but especially now, to set intention for who and what and how we want to be in the world. And I found it a poignant moment to remember who and what we're awakening to. What are we attempting to be present with? And even these words are limiting. Present with denotes that there's some object, and there's not. So I wanted to talk this morning a little bit about Buddha nature. And for some of you, this may just be a reminder of what you already know. And I find that's what this practice primarily is remembering. Maybe it's something that we've once recognized, maybe something that we've recognized and become distracted from. So what is this Buddha nature? There's the idea of Buddha nature, and then there's the reality of Buddha nature. The essential teaching in Buddhism is not to be a Buddhist. The essential teaching is that we are all Buddhas. Buddha didn't say, become like me. Buddha said, you are me. And I am you. And the difference is, he set off on a path and awakened to his true essence. He wasn't Buddha before he recognized his Buddha nature. He didn't even give himself the name Buddha. So if we take the labels and the names out of it, this practice, this path is a path of awakening to who we've always been, to what we've always been. And what we have always been, not just us, but all beings, exists in space. All that arises, feelings, bodies, emotions, all that arises within the basic environment of space, of Dharma Dhatu. All beings, all phenomena. So as we practice, I find it useful to really zoom way out and allow space to hold everything. Our body, our speech, our mind, all of our emotions, happiness, joy, sadness, grief, disappointment, hope, all suffering, all nirvana, all exists here in this great expanse of space. It encompasses everything that arises, everything that exists, and everything that ceases to exist or dissolves. So all phenomena appear within this space, remain within this space, and disappear within this space. So words aside, drop into the feeling of that. Drop into the feeling of this spaciousness. Just be with that for a moment. Infinite space. What's arising in my space is two teenage boys' voices. So pardon me for a moment. So one of the things that arises within this space is our being, our body, our speech, our mind. And our work here, if you're here, I imagine you're here because you're on a path of awakening. You're seeking recognition of your true self. You're seeking to release suffering and to be enlightened. And the good news about that is there's a well-worn path that shows us the way in which we can do that. It's an awakening to it. And awakening to it is knowing our own mind. Our mind is the source of our awakening. It is also the source of our suffering. So to the extent that we can get to know our own mind, understand our true essence, and recognize that we are just thinkers thinking. When we're in the expression of that, when we're outside of our essence, when we're not coming from our essence, we are thinkers that are thinking our way into a problem. We are taught in our Western culture that thinking thinks us out of a problem. And so we're really in this pickle of deconditioning ourselves. So our essence, our Rigpa, our primordial selves, our innate Buddha nature, imagine it like the sun. Right? It's that which you have always been. The sun exists whether it's blue skies and shining brightly and expressing the light, or it's obscured by clouds. The sun is still there. The sun has always been there. It is our essence, it is our nature. And from it, all light is emitted. So without the sun, there's total darkness. But with the sun, our true essence, its expression is light. And what we're working with here is the relationship between our essence, which is the sun, and the expression in our human form, our fallible human form. We have the privilege of being born into this human body. It's a rare opportunity for awakening. So all that arises, all the conditioning, all the difficulty that arises is there for us. It's there for us to work with, to come back to our true nature, to recognize our true nature. So our minds are pure from the beginning, and only over time are they temporarily obscured and conditioned. We come into this world pure beings, pure light. And the fact that we're in a human body and our five senses over time condition us, and we lose sight of our true essence. We don't ever lose it. We just lose the recognition of it. Right, so our thoughts, our movements, we're either seeking pleasure or avoiding pain. So we're constantly getting caught up in the sounds we hear, the sights we see, the smells, the tastes, the textures. And they're distractions. They're distractions to the being with. It doesn't make them wrong. In fact, they're there for us to play with, to work with. But first we have to know that that's what they're there for. So if we were already enlightened, if we were already an enlightened bodhisattva, we would just be, and just be, empty, open, radiant space that is suffused with knowing, that is suffused with cognizance. Pure presence. But I, like you, and all sentient beings have had it slip out of our awareness, have had it slip out of sight. And we all have been conditioned in different ways. We all experience the same thing in different ways, based on how we've grown up, based on our environment. The mind fools itself and creates these negative habits and fails to recognize first our essence, and then later, many of you sitting here have probably had recognition of your essence. You've had that glimpse. And what happens after having the glimpse is now we seek to stabilize that glimpse. We seek continuity. The innate stability of our essence, of our sun, not of the sun's reflection on the pond. That is temporary. That is based on external environments. The sun itself is ever present. Tukul Urgyen describes it this way, which I appreciated in the book as it is. He says, our recognition of mind is like a small infant. So our rigpa, our truest essence. It's a small infant and it appears powerless. And it's being carried around on the back of a big, strong, powerful, sort of reckless adult. So you've probably had a child on your back at some point, or you've been a child on somebody's back. When you're on someone else's back, you do not feel in control. So this powerful, strong adult is running around, and the expression we are caught up in right now is the conditioned mind. So our infant, our Buddha nature, it has been born, but it hasn't been developed. And it's being carried around by this adult who has dualistic thinking, that is just constantly seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, and at the root of it, seeking safety and comfort. And meanwhile, we have this undeveloped infant that already knows there's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to seek it. But it can't get the adult's attention. So our practice is the opportunity of turning our attention, turning our presence to what already is. So here we are. We're coming, we're going, but there's nowhere to go but here. So we're not seeking the absence of arisings. We're human. Enlightenment encompasses all. It encompasses the suffering and the nirvana and the awakening. It is all. Everything exists in space. And so our goal here isn't to seek the lack of suffering. It's to remember exactly who we are. To be present with what's happening right now. Behind our own mind, there is nothing coming to wake us up. By itself arising, we are here to self-liberate. And lucky for us, we have the Dharma, we have Dharma teachers, we have Dharma teachings that help us, point us toward who we really are. that eternal sun in the sky. So the goal of this practice and what we're going to do now is try to cut it at its root. There's no problem when we're present with what is and we just see and witness what's happening. So let's go back to before we had an idea of who we were or who we were supposed to be or whether we were good or we were bad. And we were just light in the world. And let's be in that space. So in our Dzogchen practice, we just sit. So arrange yourself in your seat, on your cushion. Feel into your body. Allow the chair or the bed or wherever you're sitting to rise up and hold you. And allow your presence and your awareness to be right there, right here, right now, just sitting. And in this sitting, you want to be able to breathe easy, so you want to have a somewhat erect posture, whether you're lying down or sitting. And you want to open your mind, open your eyes, open your senses to just be. Opening into natural awareness. And be like the sky. Let it all pass through. Natural breath, natural body. Allowing whatever sensations, thoughts, or feelings to arise, not pushing away, and also not clinging to. By itself arising, by itself dissolving. Soften your gaze. Attentive and relaxed. You find you need to put your attention somewhere specific, focus on your out breath, on your exhale, on the letting go. And as Lama Surya always says, many quickies, few longies. So let's stretch for a moment, refresh. You don't want to space out. Good. So when the not doing anything can get uncomfortable, our mind might tell us we should be doing something, thinking about something, focusing on something. If that's what arises, just notice that. And come back to the moment. Not holding, not pushing, not pulling. Open awareness, just being. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep, 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 and hold it. And then exhale. Moving that stale breath, that stale prana through. And let's begin again. Softening, opening, expanding your awareness. By itself. Who or what is aware? Who or what is aware of awareness? On your next exhale, gently hold the out-breath until the in-breath naturally comes. Close your eyes, looking out beyond your eyelids. Gently, slowly turn that awareness in on itself. Awareness turned towards awareness. Now gently turning awareness back out. Not that there is an inner or an outer. And breathe into that wide open space. Regarding this world, this fleeting world, as the Buddha said, like stars fading and vanishing at dawn, like bubbles on a fast-moving stream. Like morning dewdrops evaporating on blades of grass. Like a candle flickering in a strong wind. Echoes, mirages, and phantoms, hallucinations. Regard all arisings like a dream. All projections from the projector. We'll do the path clearing and wish fulfilling prayer to Padmasambhava. Dosum Sanjay Guru Rinpoche Nudrup Kundak Dewachin Poja Marche Kunsel Dudu Drak Posel Sowadep Sojin Gilab Tu So Chirang Sangwei Barche Jiwadang Sampalunji Druparjin Gilo. Precious guide, one with all the Buddhas of the three times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. We'll do the bodhicitta dedication. Janchuk Semchok Rinpoche Makye Panam Ke Gyushik Ke Panyam Par Me Payang Gone Gondu Pelwar Shok. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Thank you for your presence and your practice today. Any questions or sharing, feel free to put it in the chat. You know, one of the things I love is this idea that we're not squeezing gold out of wood. We're not trying to make something out of something else. We're not looking for a miracle here, actually. That our Buddha nature, our innate being, all of our innate being, is like pure gold that's just been temporarily obscured, temporarily covered up. So we don't need to perform miracles, we just need to be present with what's happening. And that just means not leaving what is already here. And we can practice this in every aspect of our life. Eating, walking, just being present with what's happening. In this world that asks us to put our attention everywhere else, it's a real feat to stay present. Thank you for the beautiful comments. While we're waiting to see if anyone has anything to share, I'll read one more little poem. And this is Hafiz. So once a woman came to Hafiz and asked, "How do we know when we have come to God?" And Hafiz became very quiet and stood in silence for a long while. And lovingly looking into the young woman's eyes, Hafiz said, "My dear, they have dropped the knife. The person who knows God most so often used upon their tender self, as well as others." So I encourage you to drop the knife and be with your beautiful, perfect Buddha nature. All the criticisms, all the armoring, let it go. Allow your beautiful heart to shine through. Trust that that is who you are, especially right now. So we will be here again next Sunday at 11. And I hope you'll join us whenever you can. And as always, for as long or as little. You're not required, if you can only come for 10 minutes, come for 10 minutes, be present for 10 minutes. Love to you all.